catastrophic winter storm, fueled by an explosive weather event known as bombogenesis, has buried New York City and the entire tri-state area under a record-shattering blanket of snow. Governor Kathy Hochul has officially declared a statewide state of emergency, calling this event a climatic assault that is testing the absolute limits of our infrastructure. Meteorologists at the National Weather Service began tracking this system 4 days ago as it drifted out of the Midwest. But the situation turned critical when the storm hit the warm moisture of the Atlantic Gulf Stream. It bombed out, meaning its central pressure dropped by 30 millibars in less than 24 hours. That rapid intensification turned the storm into a massive conveyor belt of moisture. By Saturday morning, Manhattan was getting hammered with snowfall rates of 5 inches per hour, accompanied by thundersnow, that rare and terrifying mix of lightning crashing through thick snow clouds. The totals are staggering. Central Park is currently sitting under 34 inches of snow, while parts of the Hudson Valley and Buffalo have reported accumulation exceeding 45 inches. The sheer volume of snow has rendered New York's world-class transportation network completely immobile. For the first time in the 2020s, the MTA has suspended all outdoor subway lines and bus services. The heavy weight of the snow actually caused overhead power lines on the Long Island Railroad to snap, leaving thousands of commuters stranded at transit hubs. In the air, it's no better. A total of 5,800 flights have been canceled across JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark Liberty. The Port Authority reports that runway visibility hit absolute zero at the height of the storm, making de-icing operations impossible. On the ground, a mandatory travel ban is in effect for all non-emergency vehicles across all 5 boroughs. The New York State Thruway, I-87, remains closed from New York City all the way to Albany, blocked by hundreds of jackknifed tractor trailers. And the impact is hitting home, literally. As of 9 p.m. Saturday, Con Edison reports that over 280,000 customers are currently without power. The primary culprit right now is ice loading. Combined with 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts, the weight of the ice is toppling century-old trees directly onto power grids, particularly in Westchester and Queens. But the loss of electricity has triggered a secondary and much more dangerous crisis: the loss of heat. With wind chills plummeting to a life-threatening 25 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, that's minus 31 Celsius, the city is scrambling to keep people alive. Officials have opened 200 emergency warming centers. Mayor Eric Adams has activated Code Blue, a protocol authorizing social workers and the NYPD to move the homeless population into shelters immediately to prevent deaths from hypothermia. The economic toll is staggering. Economists estimate that for every single day New York City remains shut down, it loses approximately $1.5 billion in economic activity. Wall Street's physical trading floor is closed, though digital trading is keeping the markets moving. Meanwhile, the supply chain is buckling under the pressure. We're getting reports of empty grocery store shelves across Brooklyn and Manhattan because delivery trucks are physically trapped on the New Jersey Turnpike. City planner Dr. Elena Rodriguez put it bluntly, calling this more than a storm. It is a logistical nightmare. She estimates that the city's snow removal budget for the entire year of 2026 has likely been wiped out in just the last 48 hours. The FDNY has issued an urgent plea. If you can, please clear the snow away from fire hydrants near your home. Time is critical in an emergency. Also, the Department of Health is sounding the alarm on a silent killer: carbon monoxide. Snow drifts are blocking basement vents, which has already sent dozens of people to the hospital. And a serious warning for anyone thinking about clearing their driveway: do not attempt to shovel this heavy, wet snow if you have a history of heart disease. The extreme cold constricts arteries, and the physical strain has already caused a spike in cardiac arrests this weekend. If you are using a portable generator, keep it at least 20 feet away from windows. And remember, in these temperatures, frostbite can set in on exposed skin in as little as 15 minutes. The system is expected to finally move out into the Atlantic by Sunday morning. But it's leaving a parting gift: a polar vortex that will lock the region in a deep freeze for the next 10 days. Here is the hard truth: this snow is not going to melt. With the deep freeze setting in, it will harden into a solid, impenetrable layer of ice, making this cleanup effort one of the most difficult in New York's history. For real-time updates and life-saving resources, we urge all residents to download the Notify NYC app or monitor the New York State Emergency Management Portal. Meanwhile, upstate, the city of Oswego, already known as one of the snowiest places in America, is currently facing a meteorological event of historic proportions. A relentless lake-effect snow engine, fueled by the unusually warm waters of Lake Ontario colliding with a blast of Arctic air, has dumped over 72 inches, that is 6 full feet of snow, in less than 36 hours. Governor Kathy Hochul has declared Oswego County a federal disaster area as local resources hit their breaking point. "We are used to snow in the North Country," the governor stated. "But what we are seeing today is a wall of white that is virtually unprecedented in this century." The National Weather Service in Buffalo explains that a stationary snow band intensified rapidly on Friday night. Because Lake Ontario never froze over due to a mild start to the winter, the temperature contrast between the open water and the incoming minus 15-degree Arctic air created a massive vertical updraft. This narrow, intense band focused directly on the Oswego-Syracuse corridor. At its peak, snowfall rates hit 7 inches per hour, accompanied by frequent thundersnow and near-zero visibility. The impact is total. The State University of New York at Oswego has suspended all campus activities. Many students are currently sheltering in place in their dorms, where snowdrifts have actually reached the second-story windows of some residential halls. The Port of Oswego, a critical maritime hub, has ceased all operations. The docks are simply inaccessible under the ice and accumulation. The primary concern for emergency officials right now is weight. Unlike light, powdery snow, this lake-effect accumulation is dense and heavy. Local fire departments have already responded to over 40 reports of structural failures, including collapsed commercial warehouses and residential porches. National Grid is reporting localized outages, but the silent danger is snow-logged gas meters. Residents are urged to dig out their intake vents immediately to prevent lethal carbon monoxide buildup inside their homes. In nearby Syracuse, authorities have issued a life-safety-only response protocol. The conditions are so severe that ambulances are being escorted by front-end loaders just to carve a path through 5-foot drifts on city streets. Public health officials are also issuing a dire warning regarding heart attack snow. Because this snow is so wet and heavy, the physical exertion required to move it is triggering a surge in cardiac emergencies. If you absolutely must clear a path, take frequent breaks. Conditions on the ground are treacherous. Even four-wheel drive vehicles are getting high-centered and stuck right in the middle of city intersections. And with temperatures expected to plunge to 10 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit tonight, checking on elderly neighbors isn't just a courtesy, it is vital for survival. Oswego is a city legendary for its snow. Locals still talk about the blizzard of '66 and the massive storms of 2007, but the 2026 storm stands apart for its sheer velocity. Receiving 6 feet of snow in just 36 hours is a pace that rivals the world record for lake-effect accumulation. Hydrologists are already looking ahead with concern. A snowpack of this magnitude creates a massive risk for flooding in the Oswego River Basin once the spring thaw eventually begins. The National Weather Service predicts that the lake effect band will finally shift north toward Watertown by Sunday evening. However, digging out Oswego is expected to take weeks. The city has actually requested industrial snowmelters from New York City and Buffalo to help clear the downtown area because there is literally nowhere left to pile the snow. Meanwhile, just across the border, the province of Ontario is in the grip of a catastrophic weather event. A massive Colorado low has collided with frigid Arctic air, creating a system meteorologists are calling a winter hurricane. Premier Doug Ford has declared a provincial state of emergency, urging all 15 million residents to stay off the roads as record-breaking snowfall and blizzard conditions bring Canada's economic heart to a complete standstill. Environment and Climate Change Canada has issued rare blizzard warnings for the entire Golden Horseshoe region. That includes Toronto, Hamilton, and stretches all the way east to Kingston and Ottawa. The storm is producing snowfall rates of 3 to 4 inches, 8 to 10 centimeters per hour, driven by sustained winds of 55 miles per hour, 90 kilometers per hour, screaming off Lake Ontario. As of Saturday evening, Pearson International Airport has recorded over 2 feet, 65 centimeters of snow, while areas in the snow belt near Georgian Bay and London are reporting accumulations exceeding 3 feet, 100 centimeters. The phenomenon of lake enhancement has turned a standard winter storm into a historic disaster. In an unprecedented move, the Ontario Ministry of Transportation has closed Highway 401, North America's busiest highway, from Windsor all the way to the Quebec border. The situation on the ground is spiraling into a logistical nightmare. Hundreds of transport trucks are currently stranded on the highways, creating a massive bottleneck that has brought commerce to a halt. Air travel has completely collapsed. Toronto Pearson and Ottawa International have grounded all flights. Ground crews are fighting a losing battle, struggling to keep even emergency runways clear for medical evacuations. Public transit is also down. The Metrolink/Go Transit Network and the Toronto Transit Commission have suspended all surface-level operations. In a surreal turn of events, many subway stations are now being used as temporary warming centers for stranded commuters who have nowhere else to go. The power grid is failing under the strain. Hydro One and Toronto Hydro report that over 450,000 customers across the province are in the dark. The sheer weight of the heavy, wet snow, combined with ice accumulation, is snapping transmission lines and blowing transformers. The Ontario Fire Marshal has officially designated this a life safety event. We are seeing a dangerous trend of desperate residents using outdoor generators or charcoal grills inside their homes. We cannot emphasize this enough. Do not do this. The risk of carbon monoxide poisoning is lethal. In the nation's capital, Ottawa, the storm has reached a new level of intensity. Snowdrifts in the downtown core have piled up as high as first-story windows, making the parliamentary precinct completely inaccessible. The city has mobilized the military to help clear routes to critical facilities like the Ottawa Hospital and CHEO. Economists are already assessing the damage. The Great Blizzard of 2026 is expected to cost the Ontario economy upwards of $2.5 billion in lost productivity and physical damage. Supply chains for essential goods, including groceries and medical supplies, are likely to be disrupted for at least a week while crews focus on clearing the primary arteries. Looking ahead, the forecast offers little relief. While the snowfall is expected to taper off by Sunday morning, a polar vortex is moving in to take its place. This will bring temperatures crashing down to minus 35 degrees Celsius, minus 31 Fahrenheit, with the wind chill. This flash freeze will turn the massive snowpack into solid ice, making recovery efforts incredibly difficult. If you liked the analysis in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please share this video with your friends, family members, and relatives. And finally, if you found this report helpful, please hit the like button. This helps us beat the algorithm and ensures this truth reaches more people who need to hear it. Thank you for watching.